Metal Dogs is a game where you take your dog for a peaceful walk around the town. It's a game where the weather is nice and the streets are full of life without a care for anything. You just grab your coffee and your best friend grabs its 160mm burst cannon and Thunderbird missile launcher and you are off to a great day. But who am I kidding? The moment you take a glance at the poster of the game, you can see what they were aiming for. Someone had a flash of inspiration and said, "Fuck it, I need dogs with guns," and proceeded to make their dream game. After playing it, I can clearly see whatever story or design choices came along with it was an excuse to make the dogs with guns dream a reality. And I really don't blame them for that. Hello to everyone watching this, I am Synthbanana and this is a video about Metal Dogs. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. For now, let's dive into what this game is all about. On the intro screen I am welcomed with 3 puppies, each wielding a gun bigger than their size. What a welcome sight. But looking here, something else captures my attention. Do you also see it? No? At the bottom I can see that the game is licensed by Cygames. Now, where did I hear that name before? Alright, they are one of Japan's biggest mobile game developers who made Waifu Collector but it's a game inside a game, Waifu Collector but weapons come first, and the Waifu Collector but horse. Maybe they are done with the waifus for something more precious. Game starts with a small tutorial stage and gives me the control of this precious Shiba Inu named Pochi. I am able to do basic movement and try out the different gun types the dog is equipped with. Later on, my first encounter with the enemies such as rocket launcher trucks and weird quad barrel tanks, and I am dead. This was a scripted battle. I was supposed to die here anyways, and in no way I played like a donkey, which resulted in me getting one shot. The tutorial mission ends and after staying dead for God knows how long, Pochi thankfully gets revived with an electric shock. Because that is how electricity works, it is actually magic if you didn't know. And I meet the only NPC of the game who also explains the story for us throughout the game. The story is not a whole lot to talk about, it is more or less a fluff info between the stages, so I won't be focusing on it here. But before explaining much at this point of the game, the guy disappears, so I am again left alone with Pochi. So, Pochi, embrace the machine gun. Pochi, embrace the stronger machine gun. Pochi, what are you doing? Fire the cannon too. Stop dawdling fire missiles, Pochi. Now, these are all obviously just tutorial stages that introduce weapons. The problem is, the weapons are not really different from one another, and these missions really introduce them one by one. Imagine you play a Mario game. You expect to be able to run and jump and use items right off the bat, right? No. You are going to learn walking for a whole stage first. No jumping, or even running. Gotta take it slow, so on the second stage maybe you can learn how to jump. Don't you even dare thinking about the fire flower, there is still 4 stages before that. That is what it basically is here. Playing a whole mission with only a pew-pew gun is not doing anyone a favor, even if it's a tutorial. And this pattern of introducing extremely similar mechanics or items on each new stage repeat throughout the game. And believe me, it will be done one by one. Let's go to Pochi's missile stage and bless some ants while we talk about the combat. For a game that is mostly about running in stages and shooting stuff, I would expect the combat to be barking crazy with many weapon types with strong differences. Fun mechanics to keep things spicy and unique enemy types with flashy attacks to keep things fresh and challenging. But for Metal Dogs, the combat whimpers at its best. Yeah, there are different weapon types and 3 of them can be equipped at the same time, or you have a dodge and even an ultimate attack. But the weapon types are not really different except for a bit of a change in DPS. The stages don't differ much from each other and new enemy types do not add a whole lot to the table. The combat at its core is fun, but does get stale quickly. The progression with new weapon upgrades feels good because you can easily see the increase in damage, but there is no strategy in choosing one weapon over another except blue arrow good, red arrow bad. I've got nothing against the enemy design though. Why do you start with simple ants, turn into whatever this plant is, and end up with these goofy guys that headbutt you? But Metal Dogs reached the peak design with this boss. Metallic Rhino with building-sized missile launchers and a gigantic cannon. That is what dreams are made of. Enemies are interesting, alright, and I could talk more about that badass Rhino, but I didn't come here for weird plans or cool bosses. I am here for the dogs. Cute Shiba Inus, cool Dobermans, and bulldogs. And you know what? I can feel that whoever made this game wasn't doing it for the combat. it wasn't the story either, so must be something else. I know that they wanted to make a dog dress-up game because every item I equip can be seen on them. Just need to find where... Aha! So this is where the real game is. And thankfully there are a lot of goofy, stupid items to put a fashion show with. There is a shop which I can purchase some guns and dresses for the fashion show, I mean armors, but they are always worse than what I got in stages. The real deal is not the basic shop, but the exchange place where I can give dog tags for various equipment. And the issue is, these stupid tags just don't drop enough. I have played the game for an hour at this point and I only have 4 tags, while the best goodies take over 10 or 20. The real game is just beyond my grasp. I can dress my Pochi with wrestler masks, scarves, helmets, sand shark hats and even a car. What? But I can only buy a single cheap item right now and I have to choose from a limited range of items? Why would you do this to me? Why am I kidding? I was going to buy the pixel sunglasses anyways. There we go. By progressing the game, I unlock some new systems to toy around with my guns. I can randomize the attributes of equipment, add stuff to them and turn some less useful items into best in slot equipment. Or, for people like me where they don't know when to stop, one can absolutely ruin a near perfect endgame gun and drop its stats to the lowest level. Who said RNG isn't fun? But the weapon lab thing isn't so useful right now as the stats I can add are low level. It will be more useful later on, so for now I will return to missions. Around this point I have found the poor Doberman named Belle lying on the floor. By giving it some fresh electricity, I unlocked the doggy. Apparently Belle has high movement speed and low cooldown on dodge, so the main combat unit title goes to Belle. Equipment change. The game starts introducing new enemy types which can paralyze, freeze, burn or poison, as well as traps that can paralyze, freeze, burn or poison. And then the stages introduce power-ups that can give speed, damage, defense or all at once. Did you notice a pattern here? Can you guess how these introductions are done? If you said one by one, you are absolutely right. Did you learn that these bugs can paralyze you when they shoot balls? Great, now finish the whole mission so we can move on to our next lesson where an ant can freeze you the same way. You may be asking, are these just tutorial stages or the tutorial stages are the game itself? To learn the truth, you need to go through your questions one by one and complete them separately. Don't forget, it is forbidden to ask another question before you complete the first questions. Also, for the love of God, who the hell named these missions? You guys love the dogs or hate them? While going through these amazing tutorial quests, I happened to run into the unfortunately unalived bulldog. Magic taser the poor puppy back to life and unlock Bonanza. This little loaf of meat is more focused on tanking and using ultimate attack, but it is lacking in the speed department. If you care about the gameplay, you might want to use Belle for its speed instead, but if you are more focused on the real game, then you gotta dress Bonanza up. The bulldog is unlocked around the middle of the story, and from that point on I did the rest of the tutorialish missions that I've already talked about, as well as some boss stages. The rhino fight was definitely one of the more memorable ones. Look at them chunky rockets. Then of course there is the big radish, because the design team stopped giving a shit at this point. Dude actually punches and uppercuts like that is normal for radishes. But when I stopped laughing at the boxing radish, I noticed that I was struggling with the fights and needed some upgrades. Played around the item lab to upgrade my gear and get myself ready for the endgame. Didn't want to get uppercut by a turnip next time. Thankfully the next boss wasn't a vegetable on steroids and it was smooth sailing until the final boss. To be perfectly honest, with the first enemies being ants and the ant theme going on until the end, I should have guessed the final boss to be a queen ant. But still, I wish it was something much wilder. Maybe they should have kept the radish for the big final. At least, unlike the last few bosses before here, the event is a more challenging fight and I had to play carefully to charge my ulti to nuke it down. It was a good fight, queen, but your loot sucks. All the jokes aside, Metal Dogs is a fun little game with good basics, and I really like the idea of combat dogs. It mixes the huge badass guns with cute animals. I've covered only the main 3 of the base game here, but if you are okay with spending a few more bucks, there are also DLCs for this awesome Labrador Retriever and this little demon. The combat in the game is serviceable, if a bit repetitive, and the fashion show is obviously the best feature of the game. There are, however, many things to improve. I would have wanted to see more enemy types, interesting stages, or better upgrade systems. Also, just let me get more dog tags to purchase goofy items. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Have you played Metal Dogs? If you did, what did you think about the gameplay or the idea behind the game? Let me hear in the comments and see you in the next video. Have a great day.